This is the Blairing Out with Eric Blair show today, backstage at the Wiltern Theater in downtown LA with legendary hard rock drummer Simon Wright discussing the Dio Returns tour featuring the Ronnie James Dio Hologram.
How you doing, Eric? Good to see you again.
Is it my imagination, or is there some kind of intensity going on here before the show?
Maybe a little. I mean, it's an LA show and stuff, and we're all getting geared up and, you know, in our different ways to get ready for the show and stuff and all. But everyone's excited. Everyone's looking forward to tonight. Should be good.
How happy has being on this tour made you?
It's been really cool. I mean, it was a bit of an undertaking in the beginning and stuff, and getting everything right with the cues and the lights and the click track and everything like that. But we're running good now. It's a real pleasure. It really is cool.
Now, how'd you wrap your head around the click track? I know you've worked with click tracks in the studio before. What is it like taking it out on the road?
Yeah, that's the difference, playing with it live. I've never played with it live before. And that was the only real difference, because like you say, I've used it in the studio before and all, but I've gotten used to it, I must admit. You know, it sits in there well, and I've gotten used to the different, there's different countings for the different songs and stuff, and things in the middle and in some of the medleys, but yeah, it's okay. I'm happy with it now.
Do you see Ronnie?
I can't really see him, I got to be honest. I can see like a shimmer of light and stuff, you know, and it's kind of cool in a way, because I really have to concentrate up there, so the least distractions the better, kind of thing, you know. But I've seen it from the front and it looks awesome.
What do you think as a kid was your motivation for you to play drums?
Seeing guys on television in England, the first time I heard John Bonham, you know, lots of other drummers and stuff like that, and I said, that looks pretty cool. I wouldn't mind having a go at that. So I just ended up getting a small kit from the kid next door and just started, you know, playing along the records, and I enjoyed it, and my family persevered, so I did okay, you know. I mean, I just love playing. It's great. I wouldn't do anything else.
How does that relate to where you're at now with the Dio Returns hologram? Are you still enjoying that?
I am, yes. It's the same, you know, thrill I get out of playing. I mean, it's like when I was it seems an awful long time ago being a kid, but you know, I've still got that same kind of muster, and I still enjoy it up there, and I want to play. You know, it's hasn't waned in any way.
It can be work.
Yeah, it can be. You know, you play a lot, you do a lot of shows and stuff, and you got to look after yourself and all, and you know, but the songs are just, you know, they're incredible songs, but now and again, the odd night, it does get to be a bit of a workout, but not very often.
What do you remember about the August 2016 debut of the Ronnie James Dio hologram at the Wacken Open Air Festival in Germany?
Yeah, I just remember it being kind of like so much chaos going on. With these huge rises, Scott was on one and I was on one. You know, and there's a ladder to get up on one side, and then there's another ladder to get up even higher. You felt like you were on top of a skyscraper, you know, and that time the hologram was underneath, I believe. I think, yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was just a very hectic day. It was all rushed, and you know, it was a learning experience for everybody to put on that show. You know, it was. You know, we did our set, obviously, and all, and we didn't really have much time to set up, too. So it was a little rushed and a little chaotic, but it was pleasurable in the end. It was cool.
So would you say that the Dio Returns event is almost similar to a heavy metal Disney ride?
No, I wouldn't say Disney ride. It's a fantastic show. I mean, it's got the LED screens are up there with tons of footage of Ronnie. Different pictures you haven't seen before, and landscapes and visuals that are quite incredible, you know. And then with Ronnie in the middle there, the whole stage comes alive, you know. I mean, it's just a really good show, and it's not just a hologram show too. It's You know, we play a lot of his songs with Oni and Ripper. So it's basically like a big rock show. It's not just the Hologram. It is a bit of a wild ride, yeah. It's, people I've talked to have been saying it brought back so many memories and, you know, made them cry and made them laugh and made them rock.
It makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. Watching Ronnie walk down those...
They've done a great job, yeah. I mean, it took a lot of hours and a lot of work. It takes a hell of a lot of time to render the Hologram, you know, and there's a whole bunch of people working on it and stuff. So, yeah, we did it in 2017 for about 3 weeks in Europe, and then Wendy felt it could be a little bit better, so it went into the shop and it got tweaked and stuff, and it's come out like this. So there's been a lot of work and a lot of money put into it too.
So this live show, is it taken from actual shows that you performed with Ronnie James Dio?
Some of the songs are from me, and some are from older songs. Neon Nights is from Radio City Music Hall, the Heaven and Hell take. I think Rainbow in the Dark was me. Yeah, they're taken from different points in time and stuff. Jeff Pizzuti hones in on the take and the voice and all, and he creates around it. Yeah, the head of the Hologram company.
Yeah, Jeff Pizzuti said that he would go to the gym or run and listen to every take of and pick out just the perfect performances of Ronnie.
Yeah, he says that's how he does it.
Ronnie's actually talking to the crowd.
We've talked about it, and I think we'd like that to be more of that kind of thing. So, yeah, it'll develop and stuff as time goes by, and there'll be a lot more. I don't want to give everything away, but you know, there'll be a lot more of personable of Ronnie, I think, in the future.
Is it ever surreal for you to perform with the Hologram, even though you may not see it?
No, you know, Ronnie instilled work in us. You know, me and Craig and Scott. His work ethic was like, you know, we got to work. So that's, well, not work, but we have to create. You know, and it's what it's like. You know, we're up there playing, we're doing what we love. The great thing is to hear Ronnie's voice in there too. You know, it's like you're actually playing a show with him again, which is wonderful.
Why do you think there is so much controversy over the Dio Hologram, with comments like cash grab, ghoulish, or this one guy? You got to hear this one comment. This one guy said, "The Hologram is an attempt to deny the ultimate fate we all share."
Wow. Well,
overthinking it a little, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've said it before, it's not voodoo. I mean, it's a hologram, you know? It's a screen with an image on it. We're not trying to bring him back. It's entertainment. Ronnie was all about entertainment and technology and anything that came out, you know, anything new that came out. And this is a new thing. First it was CDs, first it was LPs, then cassettes, then CDs, then DVDs. And this is just another form of technology for entertainment's sake. You know, we all loved him. I mean, it was a massive loss to us, you know. And we're doing this with love and respect and all. And, you know, cash grab, that's a funny one. I mean, the amount of money Wendy spent and Jeff, I mean, it's just ridiculous, you know. But they want to create this form of entertainment, bring it to the fans. A lot of fans never saw Ronnie live, you know. So this is a great opportunity. There's naysayers, sure, but it's like, just, you know, give it a chance. I mean, come see. You like it, you don't.
It seems like there's a lot of angry people. We don't know what their motivation is.
You know, hate and all that kind of stuff is just crazy. I mean, come on, it's music, it's entertainment. Just imagine if some other company came out with this without Wendy being involved. I mean, it's like, what would that be? I mean, you know, Wendy's involved and Jeff and everything, and we all are, and it's paying respects to him. That's all it is. You know, in a big way to bring it to the fans. There's no sides. I mean, you know, you either like it or you don't. I mean, there's some bands I will never go see. You know, I mean, everybody has things they don't like. You know, and when you're in the public eye, it's easy to spit venom at it. You know, and now we got Facebook and the internet and stuff, and it's so easy.
What are Dio Returns concert attendees saying to you guys after the shows?
They're blown away, you know. They think it's just an amazing show. You know, the visuals, the hologram itself, the band, the singers, It's just and some of them weren't ready for it.
Do you think that the Dio Returns hologram is helping to keep Ronnie James Dio's legacy alive?
Of course it is. We were out as Dio disciples, and we were doing it that way. And this is a progression from that.
What is it that you love about this group of guys?
Oh, lots of things. I mean, we all just kind of, we have our different, personalities, but we all get together when it's the music and stuff and all. They're pretty cool guys to hang around.
What do you think Ronnie James Dio would think of the hologram?
Good question. I'd like to think that he would enjoy it, because first of all, I think it looks amazing. I mean, we'll never know what he thinks of it, but I'd like to think that he would like it and approve of what we're doing. He was always into technology. He always tried to bring the biggest stage show, the newest technology that he could. Took out, so many mortgages on his house to make the perfect stage show. I mean, that's proof, I mean, and that's the way that Wendy and Jeff are thinking about this. It's got to be good. It's got to be a big show. It's got to look cool. We'll never know, but I hope he would approve.
From your personal standpoint, what was it about Ronnie James Dio that made him a genuine person without compromise? What traits did you see in him that reflected that?
His humor, his smartness, his kindness, his anger. He was all things, really. He was just great. I loved being in his band. I loved working with him.
Recently, we lost a great musician in Paul Raymond, who was a member of UFO.
Yes, that was a shock. That really was. I was actually going to meet up with Paul when they were, they were taking a break and then coming to America. I was going to meet up with him in LA, and I just looked at the internet and went, "Oh my God, you're kidding me!" No, that was a great loss. I mean, he's such a talented multi-instrumentalist, And when I was in UFO, me and him used to hang around a lot and all, and do a bit of that, and we became good friends and stuff. He's such a shame.
What do you remember about recording the Mogg Way 1999 Chocolate Box album?
That was a lot of fun. A guy called Mike Varney, Shrapnel Records. He brought in Jeff Coleman, there's Pete and me and Paul Raymond and Phil. And it was just fun. It was up in Northern California, and Jeff came in with some great songs and stuff and all, and it was a good time. Great. And I think the album turned out okay too. We were going for a little bit different sound then, yeah.
What were the highlights of your time with UFO?
There's some crazy times too. But the highlight, I think, we did like 6 nights in Chicago. Was it 5? Maybe 5. At the Vic Theater, so... every night you'd get, "Hello, Chicago, would you please welcome you?" That was cool. I'm sitting there going, okay, this is Chicago, and I'm playing in UFO. I'm going, wait a minute. But no, I mean, they're great people to be around. They're really crazy sometimes and stuff. But playing with them, was great. And playing with Michael Schenker was a absolute treat.
How would you describe Phil Mogg and Pete Way and Michael Schenker's chemistry when you were in the band?
It was good. It got a little bit tested sometimes, a little bit testy with each other, but I really had no idea why that was happening, because they'd done so much work together. They were like the brothers, and sometimes you never know what goes on when brothers are fighting, really, There were funny times, too. I mean, they're really funny, They're like hilarious stuff going on. Lots of stuff going on I can't talk about, really.
What do you think of Phil Mogg calling it quits?
I respect that. I mean, he's made his own decision, it's his decision and stuff, and he's doing this last tour. And he's laid everything on the table, so to speak. So I respect that. He's a real gentleman about things and his way and stuff. I don't embarrass him, but it's. I always found him a really cool guy. He always was. He was always forthright and stuff. And I hope he has a nice retirement. I really do. I think he's deserved it.
How did you come to join AC/DC in 1985?
Saw an ad in a newspaper, in a music paper. I was living in London, and I wasn't really that interested in it, but I I saw it, and somebody else persuaded me to answer it. It said, drummer wanted, if you don't hit hard, don't apply. Okay, I do, so I applied, and I went down there. And there was a drum tech there with the PA system, small one. And he said, can you play these 3 songs? And it was like Zeppelin, Black Dog, Shoot the Thrill, and ZZ Top. So I'm playing them all, I finish up, and he says, that's good, we'll be in touch. And I went, oh, all right. And then about 3 hours later, he calls me up and says, can you come back tomorrow? And I said, well, not really, because I haven't got any money. He said, well, don't worry about that. Get yourself in a taxi, you know, and get back down there. So I go down, he meets me in the lobby of the big rehearsal place. And he takes me down the corridor, and I start seeing all these flight cases with AC/DC on them. And I sort of tapped him, and I go, you're kidding, right? And he went, nope. Just like, so anyway, we carry on, door opens, and they're in there, and get introduced, and it was very informal. They were just like, hey, how you doing? And they asked me what songs I know, so I knew some of them. And we started playing, we stopped for a bit, and then they started talking about like touring and stuff, and I think I leaned over to Mal and I said, does this mean I'm in the band? He went, well, yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? So I'm like, so yeah, and then my whole life changed. So that was that.
What do you remember about the songwriting process for Fly on the Wall?
It was mainly done between Angus and Mal, and then we'd get in a rehearsal studio and bash it around a bit. Sometimes Mal would come in with a demo with a drum machine on it, so it's pretty much set. Yeah, we just took it from there. It was very relaxed. I mean, there was no pressure at all. I mean, it was like, you know, half of the sessions took place in the pub. So, you know, it's the way they were. I think there was some good stuff came out of that. You know, there were no backing blacks, but can't keep doing that, can you?
I know on Fly on the Wall, Angus and Malcolm produced that album.
Yeah, that's right. That's why it's a slightly different sound, I think, you know, than the other albums. But I think it turned out okay. People stop me and say, that's my favorite AC/DC album. And I'm going, really? But hey, I'll take that.
Ryan Adams, he loves that record.
I think it's grown over the years and become part of the whole catalogue there, you know, and people look at it in a slightly different way than when it first came out, because it is a different sounding record.
How did you see your life change?
Besides the touring and the way, I toured a little bit around England, you know, in a van, so that was about all I did. You know, first class to Los Angeles, and first class all the way and stuff, and everything was so organised, and there was this huge road crew of like 40 people. You know, you didn't even know, you know, it's like, yeah. And then obviously I was a lot more financially better off and stuff like that. So yeah, it was, but I was still young, you know, it was difficult to take some of it in sometimes. You know, it was just like, you got hit with it, you know, and, but they were cool. They looked after me and stuff like that. So it was good.
Did you have to survive sex, drugs, and rock and roll, or was that not a problem during that period?
I did it, but only in kind of like moderation. I didn't go completely berserk, but I could have done, but I didn't.
Yeah. Do you think that has to do with your upbringing?
I think so. I mean, you know, I like a drink, you know, I like the next man, you know, but, you know, I just come from a working class background, and it was basically down the pub, have a laugh, you know. And I wasn't really into the drug scene or any of that lot, and neither were the other guys really. So, but you know, the rock and roll was definitely there.
What do you remember about filming the music video for the 1986 AC/DC song Who Made Who, with a crowd of fans and radio contest winners dressed like Angus Young?
That was cool. I thought it turned out great. Yeah. And the girls behind us on the bikes, you know, and stuff. I think it was shot over like maybe 4 or 5 days.
Really?
You know, I wasn't there all the time because we'd got all the individual shots and stuff like that.
Is there anything that stands out to you?
I can't remember. I just remember the girls on the bikes. That's what.
Yeah.
There are ones going, "Go, my arse hurts." You
Really?
know, it's like, you know, Oh, yeah? So
1988's Blow Up Your Video, produced by Vanda and Young.
Harry and George, yeah. Yeah, we did that in France. And it was great working with them because they upped the pace a little bit, you know, with the way we were working, which was good, you know. And some of the songs were a bit more, there's a bit more to them. Some of them had parts in them, you know, more intricate, if you can say intricate, but it was great, you know. They knew exactly what they were doing and knew exactly what they wanted. It was a real pleasure working with them, you know. God bless you, George.
And then you played to 250,000 people.
Yeah, that was in Rio. Yeah, it was like, I think Queen played, Scorpions, a whole bunch of other. Yeah, you couldn't really see anything. It was just a sea right to the. You couldn't see it ending of people and stuff. It was amazing. Again, I was young, so it was all a bit of a blur. I'm just like slamming away there, you know.
What did your parents think? Were they proud of you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah. My dad knew music and stuff. My mom a little bit, not as much, but yeah. He knew who AC/DC were and UFO and all those bands and stuff. And yeah, I mean, very proud. Yeah.
Would you say you're a reluctant rock star?
I suppose I am in a way. I mean, I don't really go for the, you know, the rock star trip kind of thing. You know, I just get on with what I've got to do. You know, making music, really.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like Keith Moon.
I mean, I got a pool, but I ain't got a Rolls Royce. So there you go.
And then how did you make the transition from AC/DC to Dio?
My time had come to an end with AC/DC. I got a bit complacent about the whole thing, and it wasn't fair on them or the fans or anything, you know. And I think they saw it as well. And so I managed to reach out to, well, a friend of a friend reached out and heard something about Vinny wasn't happy in the band and stuff, and so, you know, we sort of pursued that, and it ended up, you know, because I'd met Ronnie a few times before that and stuff, so we kind of knew each other. But we came in and we did Lock Up the Wolves and the rehearsals for that one, and it just sort of clicked. It was cool, you know. It just that transition was not that long. It just, I managed to make it work, and yeah, that's how I got in that.
What was the word you used about your time with AC/DC? Complacent. Right? That's the word you used?
Yeah.
When you say complacent, what did that look like?
Well, that was in the form of the playing. I mean, I'm not knocking their music or their drummer. Phil Rudd is a absolute one-off. Mm-hmm. You know, he's got brilliant swing to him, great timing, great rhythm. But for me, I just needed to move on more, that's all, and be more creative in drumming and stuff. You know, it just became apparent to me. I really needed to move on. And it sounds crazy, but when you're feeling it, you know, you're not feeling it, rather. It's like you can't just sit there pretending.
So then what do you think the one lesson you took away from AC/DC was?
Oh, there wasn't one. I mean, there were a few. You know, I was young and I learned a lot from them. You know, it was with Malcolm and the business side of things, how to make some decisions and not make others immediately, give it some time. You know what I mean? You're just growing up, you know, really. Yeah, I really enjoyed my time with them. Best band in the world. I learned a lot, but, you know, I knew damn well that Ronnie was a smart guy, so I learned from him too, you know, you just do. And, yeah, I took what I learned from DC and just continued on.
What were some of the highlights of the Lock Up the Wolves period for you?
Oh, it was amazing because, you know, like I say, you know, I got to stretch out a bit on the drums. I did a drum solo. We had that huge stage with the Bones. You know, it was just amazing. I loved that tour, and Rowan was so young too, but a brilliant guitar player. Mm-hmm. You know, and we really started to gel. It's a shame we didn't get to do another album with that lineup, but what will be will be.
The Blairing Out Show.